Hey Mike, how can I make $100 every day as an Uber Eats driver? Okay, well, I got your text. If you want to know, I'll let you know how to make $100 every single day as an Uber Eats driver, but I'm going to be brutally honest with you because a lot has changed over the years, so let's get into it. Firstly, did you know that for the first time ever in this company's history, they showed an operating profit, summarized in their recent Q2 2023 earnings call? But what does that mean for you as a driver? We'll take a look here at the supplementary info from Uber. The MAPCs, the monthly active platform consumers, are going up quarter over quarter and considerably, or at least 12% we'll say, considerable growth year over year. And then look at the trips here, also incrementally growing here, constant growth. Now these trips include mobility and delivery, obviously Uber just bundling the both here, but consumers are continually using the platform more. So the monthly trips per MAPC here, 5.1 year over year, and now 5.6. But we're specifically focused on delivery, right? So hey, look, delivery highlights here. Great. Gross bookings going up here. Revenue seems strong. But I saw this at the bottom of their supplementary info that the revenue amounts for the delivery platform are benefiting from massive numbers every quarter, 711 million, 600 plus million, related to, quote, the delivery business model changes in select markets, basically since last year. It lists Q2 2022 until present. Now, what does that mean for you, right? As the actual courier here, Uber says in the delivery vertical specifically, since last year, Q2 of 2022, they've benefited from a minimum of 600 million at least every single quarter here, based in select markets on a business model change. It doesn't really sound like drivers are making more money, or does it? Well, in that same earnings call, in their press release this time, they say, quote, supporting earners, drivers and couriers earned an aggregate $15.1 billion, including tips, during the quarter, with earnings up 17% year over year, or 19% on a constant currency basis, which just takes exchange rate into the factor here to make it a constant currency. Now, DoorDash has reported very similar things on their earnings calls. Like Dasher earnings have gone up year over year, and we see the same thing here from Uber. But I'm kind of thinking it makes sense if more and more people remember that MAPC are using the platform. But how do you make sense of that? Okay, so knowing that Uber is growing, yes, that they're bringing in more MAPCs, the monthly active platform consumers. Tip number one for you, if you're trying to make $100, now, knowing what we know now, $100 every single day, you have to be open to every type of order on the Uber Eats platform. This is similar to what I told you to make $100 on DoorDash, but it's a little different on Uber Eats because Uber doesn't have really the breadth of options yet, I'll say. I'm sure they're looking at it, but they don't quite have the options of DoorDash. But they did highlight, again, the same thing I've been telling you on DoorDash, grocery and new verticals. Now, you better believe it. You better believe that I'm going to tell you I don't care if it's rideshare, grocery, package, any niche. The numbers need to make sense for you. That doesn't mean Mike tells me to accept, oh, here's a grocery, I should accept this one because it's a different order. He said to be open. The numbers need to make sense. First and foremost, what is it? $1.75 minimum paid out per mile. That's a minimum. Really, I'm not happy unless it's $2 to $3 plus, and $25 an hour in gross revenue. So consider that as well. If you're trying to make $100 a day, you'll be done in 4 hours. But in 2023, how feasible is that? I do think mathematically, in a lot of markets, you're going to have to drive more than that. If you don't know the trends, if you don't know the numbers behind this independent contractor business for you, get right now our earnings tracking spreadsheet. It's updated with the visuals. You can see your numbers. You can see trend analysis. So you can actually see how have my earnings per hour been over the last, whatever it is, the last week, last 90 days, however long you want to trend that out for. Tip number 2, I just told you that if you're making $25 an hour, obviously you're done in 4 hours, but realistically you might have to drive more. Now, efficiency, I think, is the name of the game on Uber Eats. and they've been doing this for years. I feel like they love to throw on the add-ons even more than DoorDash in some cases. So when you're taking a run on Uber Eats, there's literally only 2 times they can do this. It's during the pickup or as you're making the drop off, or after pickup, I should say. They throw you an add-on order. So an add-on order, it's just that. But sometimes, number one, it might obscure the order, the navigation screen, I should say. It'll obscure that navigation screen. So just really look at the numbers to see, again, if it makes sense. But sometimes, if the numbers make sense, it can be super easy money. Again, adding to efficiency, giving me an extra, I don't know, $5, $6. I feel like the add-ons are also lower pay. Like, I haven't really seen add-ons for $10+, which would be wonderful, by the way. If you can average each trip at $7 to $10, you're doing great. $9 to $12, you're doing solid here. But an average run, I'd like you to be around $7 here. But anyway, an add-on run can be really easy money as long as the numbers make sense. Next, something that has remained a mainstay, which I am a little happy about with Uber Eats versus DoorDash, we'll say. And I think Grubhub's kind of out of the equation here. I don't think they do a ton right other than kind of one-off orders, at least here in Pittsburgh. Let me know what you feel about Grubhub. But with Uber Eats, you can stack bonuses. And again, this is more so than DoorDash. So I can get surge pay, stack with boost pay, maybe stack with a consecutive streak bonus, or maybe there's a quest incentive. Now, I've only really seen, I think, 2, maybe 3 stackable. If you can stack 3 of those bonuses, whereas there's surge pay going on in a boost zone, while there's also a consecutive streak bonus, you are killing it because you get the bonus pay from all of these incentives. But keep in mind, Uber, their CEO, Dara Khosrowshahi, has targeted having less surge pay. And they've shown actual data to their investors that they're paying less on surging trips. If you have surge with boost or anything else, if you're doing a quest as well, that's probably the best stackable bonus, by the way. Let me know if you agree with that. Is a quest, which is a more long-term batch, like do 20, 30, 40 deliveries, and then we'll give you an extra, whatever it is, 40, 60 bucks, whatever it is. Usually, because you're doing more of a longitudinal bonus there, you can get hopefully some surge pay. That's that constant, ever-changing per delivery bonus pay. Next, the real honest truth of driving Uber Eats or food delivery in general in 2023. What happens if there isn't, Mike, any bonus pay? What if I'm in a smaller market and I just don't have the demand? I don't have as many options, restaurants, or these students are back. Actually, DoorDash, I think, cited that in their recent earnings call. Then mathematically, what's left? So there's base pay, there's incentive pay, and then there's tips. So assuming, base pay is not really going to change for the most part. Tips, have good customer service, watch some more videos on how to earn tips as a food delivery driver to maximize that. But the bonus pay, when that goes away, you're just going to have to drive more hours. So if you are dead set and you need cash flow, you're just going to have to drive more hours. So just break it down. Hey, if I'm averaging $15, hopefully not, $18, $20 today over the last 2 hours, then I'm going to have to drive X amount of more hours for the day. Now you can buffer that by not relying on one platform. But if you're new, I get it. If you're new, I want you to get used to one app first, and then you can branch out to other apps and eventually other niches in this gig economy. Just get a feel for how busy am I on Uber Eats. Now, I remember here in Pittsburgh, my brother was driving, I think for just Uber Eats, actually. And then after months and months and months, like 6 to 8 months, for whatever reason, he didn't want to sign up for DoorDash. And then eventually signed up for DoorDash and started killing it because it was just better here in our marketplace. So do the same thing. Again, get comfortable with Uber Eats first. But once you're comfortable with, okay, I know the screens, I know the layout, etc., and my options, accept, decline, all that, then look at other platforms, because maybe your city just, for whatever reason, uses DoorDash a lot more, or maybe even Grubhub. And understand, you're not just going to have food delivery on Uber Eats, much of the same as DoorDash. DoorDash has done actually a really good job, in my opinion, adding new career options for you that are the new verticals that we briefly cited with Uber, with grocery and just generally new verticals. But did you know Now, you might actually get GoPuff order requests. And in fact, both companies, Uber and GoPuff, acknowledged at least 4% of GoPuff's orders are actually fulfilled by Uber drivers. And then also at the end of 2020, Uber acquired Postmates. So you're probably not even going to know it because it doesn't say, hey, this is a Postmates order. Sometimes it'll be, at least what I see, are 7-Elevens, and it'll say like package. But I mean, it's just, supplies and food, whatever, convenience items, I should say, from the 7-Eleven. But a lot of the times, those are either a GoPuff or a Postmates order. At least that's my guess. Because just like DoorDash, Uber is constantly adding new verticals like those grocery partners. We're going to see more of that into 2024. I am telling you, with retail, with grocery, convenience, we saw package returns on DoorDash. Anything that is non-restaurant, it's going to give you more options. But again, what I'm really tracking closely for you and kind of cautiously in 2023 into 2024 is that meat of the pay, which are incentives. In this case, Surge, Boost Pay, Consecutive Streak, and Quest bonuses. So subscribe here to learn more on that. And if it's still going to be here, at least to the degree that it is in 2024.